Welcome to Ride is Rain Crochet. Today we're going to do this Chevron purse from Crazy Cabbage. I'll put the link, the Etsy link below. So let's go ahead and let's get started on this really awesome purse. Thank you guys again for joining us today. We're doing this Chevron purse. I'm going with a little bit different colors just so it's a little lighter for us to see on video. But I'm just using a regular worsted weight yarn, and favorite stripe is what I used, and black. This is what is left of an actual skein. I mean, it doesn't even take a whole skein to do this project, which is really nice. So you guys can probably get two purses out of the two colors of skeins that you're picking. So we're just doing a worsted weight yarn. You don't have to have a transition yarn. It looks really neat, but it's not necessary, I guess. And then I'm using a 5mm hook. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to start with the base, or the bottom of the purse that sits at the bottom. We're going to start with that. So get your main color, or the color that you want to go ahead and have at the bottom of the purse. And we're going to chain 27. Okay, and there's my 27. Okey-doke. Second chain from the hook, we're going to do 3 single crochets right in here. And then we'll have 24 single crochets down, and you should have 1 stitch left. Your very first chain stitch should be left after we single crochet 24. Okay, 21, 22, 23, 24, and I have 1 left. Very good. Haha, loving that works out. Now we're going to do 3 single crochets in that last stitch, and this is going to take us and turn us around to go the other direction, the other side of the chain. And now we're going to chain up 24. Tuck your tail if you can. That's 22, 23, and 24. Okay, so we will always be slip stitching and chaining 1. And if you want to go ahead and get a stitch marker, that'd be great. If you got a good eye, then you might not need your stitch marker. Sometimes it's better safe than sorry, at least till you kind of get the flow of how everything's looking. And we're single crocheting, so it could be very easy to skip. So let's go ahead and slip stitch into the first stitch and chain 1. So that means that as we go around, we're going to always go right back into the same stitch that we just chained 1 out of, because we're just chaining 1 to get our height. Okay, so the next round, we're going to do 2 single crochets in that stitch, and 2 single crochets in the next 2 stitches. So it'll be a total of 3 increases. And then we're going to count 24. Okay, 23 and 24. Now we are going to do 3 increases, the same we did on the other side. So 2 single crochets in the first stitch, 2 single crochets in the next, and our last increase takes us around, and that's going to be 2 single crochets. Then we're going to head back up again with 24 stitches. Every time we go up the side of this bottom of the purse, it's going to be 24. That should never change. We are going to have some sets of increases and on the side of each end, but we are always going to be doing 24 down each side. Okay, and 24. And you should not be going into this stitch here that your chain 1 is out of. You should always be landing down here. So don't let that fool you, and just by chance add another stitch in there, because it really is not supposed to be used as a stitch. So then we're going to go ahead and come over. We're going to slip stitch, and we're going to chain 1. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to do 1 single crochet in the same stitch, and then an increase. And we're going to do that 2 more times, so we'll have a total of 3. Single crochet, increase, single crochet, increase. That is 3 sets. And now down the side, you got it right, 24 stitches. Okay, I'm at 23. and 24. So now we're going to do 3 sets of the single crochet increase. Single crochet increase, that is 1. Single crochet increase makes 2. Single crochet increase makes 3, and 24 back down the other side. $23 and $24, and we are going to slip stitch, chain 1, and now we're going to do 2 single crochets and then an increase, and that will be done 3 times on both ends. Then we're going to come back around and we're going to do 3 single crochet increase 3 times on each side. We're always going to have 24 in here, and we're going to keep increasing like that until we are doing 6 single crochets and then an increase, 6 single crochet increase, 6 single crochet increase, all the way around. So right now we're at 2 single crochet increase. So we're going to do 3 sets on both ends with 24 stitches in between. That's 1 set. 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet increase. That's our second set. 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet increase, and that's 3 sets. And then down 24, we're going to do the same thing, 2 single crochet increase all the way around. Then again, we're always going to do 3 sets. I'm hoping to make this clear so you guys don't have to watch me doing this thing over and over again when it's pretty easy of a pattern. So then we'll do 3 increase, right? 3 times here, 3 times here, 4, 5, and 6. And I'm going to meet you guys back here at the end of that. You guys should be doing just fine, keeping the 24 in here and doing your increases around like this. Of course, once you're at 6, it's going to be like way down. It's going to be a lot bigger, but always 24 in the middle. Okay, so I'm going to let you guys go ahead and work and get that done. Hopefully you guys understand what I'm talking about and can get it to work out. If you guys want, I'll just give you these numbers really quick. On the 2 single crochet increase, at the end of that, you're going to have 72 stitches. 3 single crochet increase round is going to be 78. Then on the 4 will be 84. On the 5 single crochets will be 90. And on the 6 single crochet increase, you're going to have a total of 96 stitches. So I will meet you guys back here when you've finished the bottom of your purse. See you here in just a little bit. All right, guys, we should all look like this. There's our base. We got our last stitch completed. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and do a slip stitch, and we're going to chain 1. Now what we need to do is a back post single crochet. These are a little tricky if you haven't done them before. I'm going to try to get in here a little better for you. They're even tricky if you have done back posts, because typically our back posts are done with a double crochet or a half double crochet. So the back post is where we're going to come from behind and hit. This is our post, right? Up here would be the stitch. This is the post. So we're going to come from behind. We're going to grab that post. I typically do that. I just fold it in half. We pull it through, and then we finish our single crochet. Then we go to the next one. Through the back, fold it in half, bring it through, grab the loop, and finish your single crochet. We are going to do this all the way around, and we'll have a total of 96 stitches. Okay, so if you guys feel like you might have skipped one, you guys might want to go ahead, and count them to make sure that you have 96 of them ready for us to start our sides. So here we are. I hope you guys are seeing this well enough. It is very hard to see. If it is absolutely, totally terrible and you guys just cannot get it, you guys can go ahead and do a back loop only single crochet. The thing about going around this post is that it makes the bottom of that purse that's going to have any weight a lot stronger than just one piece of yarn. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead and get that finished, and I'll meet you back here. Okay, guys, hopefully I made it all the way around. We're going to slip stitch to the first stitch, the first back post, which is right here. So now this is your finished side of your product. It is actually going to be going down. The unfinished side of your product is inside of your purse. Okay, that'll help you guys get an idea. So straight from here, we're going to chain 36. Let me get out here a little bit now that we don't have to be that close. And let's chain 36. $35, $36. Okay, the second chain from the hook, we're going to do 2 single crochets in that chain. Okay, now I want you guys to single crochet 16. And 16. Now we're going to skip 2 stitches, and then we're going to single crochet 16 again. Make sure not to twist your chain. This is going to be a little floppy in the very beginning here. 16. Okay, so in our last stitch, which is right here, it's always going to be the one coming right off of this in case you get confused. We're going to do 2 single crochets in that last stitch. And then we're going to make sure, of course, you have your project sitting the right way. And then you're going to slip stitch over 2. So there's 1 and 2. Now we're going to spin our work, and what we're going to do is we're going to crochet right back up this chain space. This right here, we just created our V. Do you see that? And this is what we're going to grow, and we're going to attach with 2 slip stitches as we go around this base. So when you come back to start again, okay, so then we're coming back up our chevron, and we're going to skip the 2 slip stitches that are here and here. And it's actually pretty easy to find because you have an increase in this last stitch. So once you can kind of get your eye on it, it's not going to be hard to remember or to see with your eyes just glancing down. So let's do an increase on that first or last stitch, however you want to think of it as. And then we're going to do back loop only, and we will be doing back loop only all the way around except for our very beginning and our very ending stitches. Go ahead and go through both loops so we have a little bit better security and yarn and girth to hold things together. So back loop only, 16. That's 15 and 16. We're going to skip 2 stitches, back loop only, 16. $16, and then we're going to go ahead and do our increase through both loops, but don't finish off your second single crochet. There's one. We're going to go ahead and just do half of that one, and then we're going to bring in our other color and pull that through to finish that single crochet. Then we tighten everything up. We're going to chain 1, and we're going to turn. Okay, the first stitch, we do increase in both loops, 1, 2, now 16, back loop only, there's 16. Then we're going to, sorry, my yarn is getting stuck here. Then we're going to skip 2, back loop only, 16. $15 and $16. and then we're going to increase and go through both loops. Okay, now we're going to slip stitch over. There is a stitch coming right out of this one. We are not going to use this one. Don't go in there. We're going to go in this here, slip stitch, one more, slip stitch, turn our work. Do not chain or anything else. We're going to go straight into our next stitch. So we're going to go, we skip, see the two, these are the slip stitches. Right there is our first stitch. And it, like I said, it sticks out pretty well. We're going to increase, go through both loops. And this, guys, is your pattern. So we're going to go ahead and do an increase, back loop only, 16, skip 2, back loop only, 16, and then increase at the end, going through both of the loops. Once we get back down here with the blue, we're going to grab the brown again. And we are going to alternate back and forth. Each of these rows will go all the way down and all the way back up with one color. Then we'll go and then go all the way down, all the way back up with the next color. Now I have found that if you're feeling really frisky, you can possibly do a couple rows without counting. Once your eyes can figure out which ones are the two middle stitches, then you'll know which ones you can skip. But I will tell you, even the couple times I missed up a count because somebody was talking to me or the grandbaby came in or something like that, I still needed a count and I still have gotten off before. So just keep counting the best that you can. And if you mess up a row, just keep moving on and then we'll fix it. So there's skipping the 1, 2. Okay, that's 15 and 16. And then there's going to be one back here at the very end that I missed here. So we're going to increase here 1 and then half of another single crochet. And then we're going to pull our brown through. So we don't need to cut our brown. Always pull everything nice and tight before you connect them together here. That will get rid of any extra yarn that doesn't need to be seen. Chain 1, turn our work. So here's the thing I would see how it gives it that layering look right here, like it's on top. That's that back loop only. If you guys mess up your count and you get to the next row and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm short or I'm over stitches, do not try to make it up where these two spaces are skipped, okay? Because we really need that to be tight. But you do have increases at the end of each row, right? So if you're over 1, then don't increase. If you're under 1, then do 2 increases in a row. But anything you need to fix, 1 or 2 stitches, you need to be fixing it here. Okay, make it up here, not down here, because you want this to look really nice and sharp all the way around. And then again, you're going to come back down and slip stitch, slip. This is going to be all the way around. Okay, so 2 single crochets, back loop only 16, skip 2, back loop only 16, increase through both loops, slip stitch, increase in both loops, back loop only single crochet 16, skip 2, back loop only 16, increase again, pull your new color in. So I'm going to let you guys go. This is going to take you guys quite a while to get all the way around the purse. You are just going to literally keep going all the way around this purse. And I'm going to meet you guys back here when we get close to where we're going to be joining this together. Okay? Good luck, guys. Okay, so you guys made it around. Look at that. See, I did mine a little different color so that we could see better. But here's how this one's working out. So when you get down here, you want to make sure that you are not ending with your main color and your main color, and then you're going to have a really wide strip. So you want to try to make that work out. It's not a big deal if we need to add in an extra round in there, or an extra row, which I'll have to do here. So see, I have to slip stitch here, which counts for this one row of this green. And then this one actually has one coming out of it. This could have been from your initial count. This could have been not slip stitching correctly. It's okay, we're just gonna make it work. It's okay to just give a little poof to the purse, which we're gonna want anyway. So you wanna make sure that you are doing your 2 rows of all the colors so that there is not like a real big, your main color will have a big stripe and it'll look very odd. Go ahead, and I'm just going to finish up this last row here, and I'm going to meet you guys here at the, in my case it's the top, and you guys may have only had to do a partial of your main color, and then we're going to connect it that way. But just look at it before you guys sew it up to make sure that it's going to look good once you get it sewn together. I'm going to meet you guys back here, and we're going to go ahead and get the panel of the purse crocheted together, and then we're going to start working on the round. Okay, see you in just a minute. Okay, so I am on my last stitch here, and this is my increase. I'm going to go ahead and chain 1, and let's make sure our work is flipped inside out so that we can attach these together. So I like to chain 1 and flip it. So there's the row that we just completed. This one here is our very beginning row, okay, where the chain space is. So what we want to do is go ahead and go through both loops on this very first stitch and then the very last stitch. I do that on all of my projects. It doesn't affect the look of anything, but it sure makes me feel more secure in the connection. And then on your accent color, we want to just go through the back loop only, and we're going to slip stitch this. As soon as you get this first one here, it'll be a little easier. And slip stitch. Okay, so the chain doesn't have a back loop or a front loop, right? It just has one, it's just one loop. So we're going into the chain and into the back loop. Slip stitch. Into the chain, into the back loop, slip stitch. Just keep going, all matching these stitches together all the way down. Just going to show you a couple more here. We'll go ahead and like spin our work so you can kind of see what we were. So do you see how that lays? It looks just like every other one, doesn't it? You can't even tell that this one right here is where we're seaming that up. Because we're doing that back loop only on our green, we're going to get the same kind of a layered look all the way through. So I'm going to have you guys go ahead and finish that. And go ahead and cut your yarn, sew off your ends. You might want to go ahead and mark this stitch here, which is the last and the beginning stitch here together, okay? That'll help us down the road to already have that marked. So again, in through the chain, in through the back loop, slip stitch. And I know this looks very strange because this one's, it doesn't sit right, but once you get all these together, it's going to all come together perfectly once we flip this thing back around. Okay, please remember when you guys get to your point here, this chain had those 2 stitches in there because we hadn't skipped any yet, but your finished one over here had skipped stitches. So when it gets to this point, make sure that you do a couple of the main color into the same stitch on the green to make up for those extra 2 stitches, so that this will work out. Kind of keep playing with it to see where you need to make that up at. Okay, I needed to jump in here and let you guys know that. Okay. Okay, look, here we are. That's what this pattern ended up looking like. I think these are the neatest looking purses, and they're really not that hard. They're a little irritating because you got to count 16 so many times. Now what we want to do is we want to go ahead and get our main color. And we're going to find where our stitch marker was, our last stitch, or our first stitch, however you would like to look at it. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and attach. I do strongly suggest, I'm going to show you guys how to do a little transition here, so that you can change this up a little bit, and I will show that to you guys here in a minute. But what we're going to do just to start is let's go ahead and attach this, and let's chain 1, single crochet in the same spot, tuck your yarn if you can, crochet it in there, and then we're going to single crochet all the way around. You still should only have 96 stitches, so let's go ahead and make sure that we have 96 stitches right now, and then we can add or subtract, you know, do a reduce or an increase on this very basis row here. And we're just going to go in between. So each one of these should have 2 stitches, right? There's 2 rows. So wherever that ends up landing, go ahead and just single crochet yourself around. So 1, we're covering up our drag yarn that we have here. It'll be a nice clean look. And it's going to get us, make sure we have the right count, and everything's going to be set and ready so that when we move to our strap, we already have our counts, and we know that it's good to go, and everything feels confident. We feel confident to go ahead and keep moving up on building the strap. But you see how that and that. So go ahead and single crochet around, all the way around. We should have a total of 96 single crochets, and I'll beat you back here in just a little bit. Okay, so I made it around with my single crochets, and I only have 1 stitch left, but I actually have 2 sitting here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and do 2 together. So I'm going to go ahead and put my yarn, put my hook in, grab my yarn, put my hook in, grab my yarn, and I'll pull through all 3. When you're crocheting, don't just skip stitches unless the pattern tells you to. If you need to, go ahead and reduce so that there's yarn in that spot on the bottom. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and slip stitch and chain 1. So now I'm at 96 all the way around. We're looking great. Now we're going to do that horrible back post single crochet again. So back post single crochet all the way around, and let's just I'll get in here a little tighter for you because it might have been a while since you guys had done this. So we're going to come in through the back, around the post, and back out, fold it in half, and then pull it through and finish your single crochet. Go into the back, around the post, well actually in front of the post, pull that yarn through, and finish your single crochet. All right, and then I will, again, we are going to still have 96 stitches, and I will see you guys when we get back after the 96 back post single crochets. Very nice, guys. Good job, good job. Okay, so we made that all the way around, those stinking back post single crochets. And then we're going to go ahead and slip stitch to the top of the back post. Okay. Now, here's where you get to make a decision if you want to do it or not. Don't want to do it. You can either, because now we have 6 rows of which would be all your main color. So on this one, I decided to go ahead and run 6 rows of my coloring and then went back to my black up here towards the handles. The handles, guys, you really want to do in your solid color, because we are going back and forth, and then we will actually connect the strap together in the middle here. It might not look as professional having those colors come up and then not literally tie together all the way around. So if you wanted to add a little bit more color in, you can go ahead and bring in your transition yarn back, and we can go ahead and do another row up here. I actually really like it. It gives it a little bit of extra pop. That's not in the pattern, but it is, I like it that way. So that's, again, that's going to be up to you guys. If not, this whole thing from here up would be black. So depending on, you know, what your audience is or who you're gifting this to or who you're making it for. If it's for you, then of course pick what you want. But that's where we're going to move on. So if you guys are planning on using the transition color, and now we're going to go ahead and attach that. We want to attach it to the stitch that we just slip stitched to. Okay, so we can either just pull this out, and we're going to go ahead and get our transition color. Some of these words today, guys, are just giving me hell. All right, and we're going to pull this through. And now we can chain 1, and we've got our color attached. We go ahead and snip our main color. If we're transitioning, if you're not transitioning, you guys are doing nothing at this point but slip stitching and chaining 1. We are now going to do 6 rounds of just the 96 single crochets all the way around. Okay, so chain 1 into the same space. If you did change your yarn, go ahead and tuck that. And I want you guys just to go all the way around single crocheting until you guys have 6 rows completed. And I will meet you back here at the end of that. Okay, thanks. Just a minute. See ya. Okay, so let's go ahead and attach our finished color. After our 6 rounds, let's go ahead and attach that here. You do not, of course, need to do that if you did not change your colors. And then we're just going to single crochet all the way around one more time, making sure that we have 96 stitches so that we can start to build our handles for our bag. I do this so that this way we have the same color as the straps and everything's going to tie together well, and it doesn't look awkward or pieced together in a weird way. The same as what we did down here. It was perfect to tie in on those back posts, single crochets, because it looked really sharp. Sometimes you can put that transition in the wrong place and it just kind of sticks out on you and it doesn't really look that great. So it's just things you learn, what looks good and what doesn't look good and all that good stuff. So gonna keep on just working here. You guys can go ahead and get 4 stitch markers out or 4 pieces of yarn if you can trust your yarn not to fall out while you're crocheting, because we're going to mark where we're going to start our handles here very soon. Okay, so get that stuff ready, get all the way around, and I will meet you guys back here when we're ready to mark our stitches to start our handles. Okay, so what I want to do is, because we don't know where everybody ended up landing, or if you guys cut your yarn and maybe didn't go back to the same spot, I'm going to get you guys set up so that we know your strapping is in the right place. So go ahead and fold your piece in half and lay it flat like this. So you know that these are definitely the two sides. And go ahead and put a stitch marker on, you really only need it on one side, but go ahead and just put it on the sides. And then your best bet is to come back. I want you to count back 15 from this stitch marker, which will be around where you landed off, okay? So in my case, this is where I put my first stitch marker. This is where I want my first stitch to begin, okay? So we found the center. We're counting back 15 and placing the yellow stitch marker. That's the beginning of one strap. Now, from this yellow stitch marker, I want you to skip 30 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 29, 30, and place another stitch marker. These two stitch markers should be right across from each other, or darn close from each other, when our purse is laid flat in half. Okay, now we're going to skip 16 stitches. And place another stitch marker in the 17th stitch. Okay, now skip 30 stitches. Skip 30 and put a stitch marker in the 31st stitch. Okay, so the blues do not need to be in anymore. Those were our sides. We were just making sure that everything was correct. The pattern mentions just coming straight off of where you ended up landing on, and I found that that is not always going to be accurate depending on what you do. So the yellow is going to be one strap and the red is going to be one strap. So let's go ahead and attach ourselves to our first stitch. Closest to where you ended up cutting off your yarn. And we can get this out of our way. I'm going to chain one and I'm going to single crochet back in that stitch. Okay, so what we're going to do now, we're going to single crochet 30. Try to tuck your yarn, 31. We have our beginning stitch here. So it'll be a total of 31 stitches. We should land right before our second yellow. Okay, so we have 31 stitches. Do not chain one. We're just going to turn our work. We're going to single crochet back in the same spot across, but we are not going to single crochet in this last stitch. We're going to skip the last stitch. So now we should have 29 stitches. 30 stitches. $28, $29, and $30. Again, we're always going to skip our last stitch. Turn our work, do not chain. single crochet back in the same spot. And now we should have 29. And then we're going to single crochet all the way down. Do not single crochet in the last stitch. Turn your work, single crochet in the same spot, and you're going to go back and forth. You're literally going to have 30, 29, 28, 27, all the way down to 8 stitches. I want you guys to go ahead and just go back and forth on. Okay, so we are down to 8 stitches, and this is how we should look. Okay, so now that we have 8 stitches left, we do want to chain 1, okay, when we turn our work, because now we're going to make a strip of 8 single crochets all the way down. And we want to make, so this is row 1. We're going to do 45 rows of 8 single crochets. Chain 1, turn, chain 1, turn. We are not reducing anymore. We need to do 45 rows. Okay, so then when we get done with that, we're going to go ahead and cut our yarn, and we're going to attach our yarn on our red side. And remember, we're going to have 31 stitches is what we're going to start with, and we're going to go down to 30 to 29, 28. We're going to do exactly the same thing we did on this side until we get down to 8. Then again, we're going to do 45 rows of 8. This is going to make a nice long strap that can go like over the shoulder. You're more than welcome to make it longer if you want, or shorter if you want, depending on what kind of a look you're going for your purse. Okay, or bag, whatever you'd like to call this. So then I can just meet you guys back here when you get both your sides done. And then we'll just have the finished stuff. We'll trim it up and you guys will have your bag made. So good luck, and I'll see you guys in a while. All right. Oh my goodness, guys. How wonderful is this feeling? Okay, we got both straps. We've got 45 rows. And now we just want to make sure we straighten these out, and we're going to go ahead and sew them together. We'll go ahead and leave a tail, and we'll get this sewn together. Now, this pattern doesn't actually have a border that goes around this, so you can leave it like it is. Or you guys, I'm going to show you, I really like the crab stitch, or it's a backward single crochet. It kind of looks like a rope around that. And I'm going to show you guys that here real quick, so that you guys can see it. So I'm just going to leave this for now, and I'll finish this up a little bit later. So go ahead and just find a good spot. It doesn't really look that bad. See how it's jagged like this around? It's a very neat stitch the way we did it, but you can do a backwards single crochet, or like I said, it's called a crab stitch. Just find a good place to start, and you guys can just see if you like this on your pattern or not. So chain 1, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to go backwards single crochet. Let me just get a couple of these done here, and you can see whether you like it or you don't. And that way you guys can finish up your project with it, or you don't have to finish, of course. Because the way that we reduce, it looks really neat. It's stair-stepped very cleanly, that we really don't need to have this on there. But here's what that looks like. That's pretty neat, isn't it? So that makes it look like it has like a cord around it all. So if that's something you guys would like to do, please feel free to do that. I'll just throw that out there. And we are actually done with our bag. I hope your guys' looks awesome, and you guys found some cool colors to put together. And like always, thank you guys so much for joining me today. And please like, share, and subscribe. Till next time, goodbye.